A4 is Audi India's best-selling sedan, and in fact on a couple of months of the year when it outsells the Q3 SUV, it becomes Audi India's best-selling product. The A3 may be the starting point to Audi India's sedan lineup, but it is the A4's size and positioning that really strikes a chord with people looking for luxury on the whole, whether be it in the front seat or in the back. Now, the A4 has been outclassed by its rivals over the past few years, so this all-new model couldn't come a day sooner. How much of an improvement is it and what makes it special? Let's find out. Roll by this A4 and you would be hesitant to call it all new. It doesn't look all too different to the older one, but spend a little time and you'll see the changes. It's visually a lot wider, something that's enhanced by the larger, protruding and more textured grille, and also those sharply cut new headlamps. The lines are a lot more pronounced, especially down the sides. The rear looks familiar, though the new multi-layered LED tail lamps and their swiping indicators set it apart. The outside may remind you of the old A4, but the interior resembles the new Q7, which is really impressive. There's a choice of beige and black or all black leather upholstery, the standing MMI screen is very well integrated, and yes, there's even Audi's fancy virtual cockpit digital instrument cluster. Material quality, as ever with Audi, is just superb, and a small but consequential thing to note is the use of thick, rich-feeling slabs of wood on the dash and doors that really make this cabin feel plush. Other nice bits? Sure. The haptic buttons that preview their function when you run your finger over them are a stylistic and cool touch. There's a wireless charging pad for QI-compatible phones. The infotainment system comes factory fit with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and the touchpad for the telephone system makes it easy to enter commands on the go. And then there is the keys memory function that remembers not just your seat and mirror positions, but your AC, drive select mode and media preferences as well. The front seats are much better contoured than the previous A4s and are more comfy over long distances as a result. Moreover, it's really easy getting comfortable behind the wheel thanks to a great driving position and good all-round visibility. Now to the engine, and there's a big change here. The old A4's 1.8-litre turbo petrol unit has been replaced by a smaller 1.4-litre turbo petrol unit, pretty much the same one that's in the Skoda Octavia 1.4 TSI. The new 1.4 litres 150 HP and 250 Nm are quite a bit down on the old car's 170 HP and 320 Nm. But as Audi is quick to point out, performance hasn't really taken much of a hit. This car's 8.5 second 0 to 100 kph time is just 0.3 behind the old cars. What's helped here is the weight reduction. This one weighs 95 kgs less than its predecessor, and also the use of a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox instead of the old car's CVT. So, how does the 1.4-litre engine feel in the real world? You'll be pleasantly surprised. You can't really tell that this is a small motor. On startup, it's quiet, it's smooth, and when you get going, it doesn't really feel strained. In fact, the whole car feels quite nice and light on its feet. The 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox also works extremely well, just as it does on all other Audis it finds use on. It's quick, smooth, and the transitions between gears are jerk-free. The thing is, when you ask the A4 a bit more, that's when the engine begins to falter. You press down on the accelerator, the gearbox will go down a gear or two, and the engine will rev into the mid-range and then work its way into the top end. It's just that at these moments you can tell that there's not all that much power on offer, and the noise levels increase without really an equal increase in performance. And that will be a bit of a disappointment if you're looking solely for performance. Shifting to dynamic mode also doesn't really help much, rather it amplifies the situation because dynamic really keeps the engine on the boil. You'll be closer to the 6,250 RPM mark, and really there isn't all that much performance to exploit. I think you'll be better off in comfort. It's a mixed bag on the highway too. The A4 is an able cruiser. Keep a light foot on the throttle or a steady throttle and it'll just cruise along quite effortlessly. Again, when you press down on the accelerator, you don't get that same burst of performance that you would expect in a car of this class. Frankly, this engine, if it had more punch, it would have been a really well-rounded package. Another reason the A4 really could do with a stronger engine is because of how much sharper the handlings become. Note, this A430 TFSI will be available in front-wheel drive form only, and there's no word on if and when the Quattro versions will come. So, how does it handle? There weren't all that many corners on our test route, but the few long sweepers that we did take, the A4 did feel quite poised. And what's nice is that there's a newfound feeling of connection with the steering and the front wheels that you didn't get in the old A4. It goes where you want it to, and it handles quite well for what is solely a front-wheel drive sedan. But more than the handling, the real revelation is the new A4's ride quality. Where the new A4 really distinguishes itself from the competition is in the ride department. Now, Audi has raised the A4 for India, but it's not come at the cost of handling and stability. The A4 still feels poised, and you don't get that unnecessary up and down movement which you get in other cars which have been raised especially for India. Bump absorption is first rate, and what's also good is that the 17-inch Hankook tires, they're chunky, so they absorb everything, even at low speeds, very well. The great ride quality is one aspect that will be of interest to chauffeur-driven buyers. The other, of course, is the rear seat itself. Audi has managed to liberate a lot of room in the back with lots of legroom and headroom on offer. The seat is positioned a bit low, so ingress is a bit cumbersome, but once settled in, you'll like the comfort on offer and also the nice view out the large windows. However, the seat is best for two. The high center tunnel will make life difficult for the middle passenger. Audi will launch the new A4 in India in early September. At launch, the A4 will solely be available with the 1.4-litre petrol engine, though a more powerful 2-litre diesel engine will join the range in the months to come. We expect prices for the A4 to start at 36 lakh rupees ex-showroom, so should you be interested? Audi is onto something really good with the all-new A4. Outside and in, it comes across as an evolution rather than a revolution, but somehow it just works here. Space and comfort are vastly superior to the car it replaces, and dynamically too, the A4 has taken it up a few notches. Technology is Audi's hallmark, and this car is loaded with the stuff. If there's a white elephant in the room, it's got to be the engine. Now, Audi is confident people will warm up to the idea of downsized motors, and the truth is, if you're chauffeur-driven or will be traveling around in the city, you won't really have much to bother about. Still, we'd like to reserve judgment till we get our hands on the diesel engine version and perhaps even a more powerful petrol, which could be on our way soon. Till then, as things stand, the A4 has a lot going for it.